What's going on, world? It's your boy SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original, alongside the one and only.
DJ Tom Foolery Beats.
We are the Connoisseurs of Hip Hop, and we are hitting you with a recap of season 3 of the head-to-head interview series. And if you've been following season 1 and 2, we usually conclude the season with a recap. Just saying a couple words, feedback, and a little tidbits on the interviews throughout the season. So Tom's going to give us some of his views and his opinions on them as well. And yeah, we're going to kick it like that, man. So yeah, let's open it up. First interview of the season was Blue Lab Beats. What did you think of that one, Tom?
Oh yeah, man. First of all, I love their energy and the way they're so kind of humble, and they don't believe the success they're having, and it's just an amazing journey for them.
Yeah,
To win a Grammy and things like that.
yeah,
Um, you know, but we know that they've put in the hard work. They've done their hustle, and you know, NKOK has got major skills. So has the other guy as well. They've got an amazing team behind them, and have done for ages. I mean,
yeah. And like you said, man, they definitely put in the work, and they've networked really well. They've got a really strong circle around them, and yeah, it paid off, man, and it shows, in the quality of their
yeah,
output, man, and the fact
I
that
know the features they've got and stuff. Wow.
yeah, and the fact that their output has progressively got stronger over the years as well, which is also an amazing,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, I mean it's because kind of started with the kind of D-Lo underground hip hop beats, you
yeah,
know, with Age of Luna and that type of thing before they even really got together with Blue Lab Beats.
yeah. Before it.
We were kind of there right at the beginning of it, weren't
Yeah, yeah,
we?
because we had Age of Luna on our radio show, man, and
Yeah,
obviously he didn't make that interview, but he NKOK, but we did what festival did we go to with him, man? Was it the Boom Bap Festival?
Boom Bap Festival, they were
Boom Bap
there
Festival,
definitely.
yeah, 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 yeah. So we met up with him there. We just saw him like in the scene
Mm.
over the years and got to know him really well.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just good to see.
And but you can tell, I could tell just from those early beats,
Mm.
who is this kid? Because he's really young as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
And
just
and then when we was over at Real Rebels Radio, man, we had
mm,
that beats on like when they were really early. I think they had only put out like 2 EPs or something like that,
yeah,
and just to see the growth from there, has been sensational, man. He's so
yeah.
good and as a duo, and they put
Well, yeah,
out,
he got really into his finger drumming as well, didn't he?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
On the pads, and to make it much more of a live show kind of thing, which is not easy. That's like really having to. It's like learning a new instrument and stuff.
yeah,
Um, and he really got into that side of it. Um, so kind of he does all the studio stuff as well, but then he knows that when it comes to festival time or the concerts, you've got to be able to deliver there as well.
yeah, yeah. You know, incredible, man. And then we went on to episode number 2, Fredro Starr, part of the legendary hip hop group, Onyx. Very
Big.
privileged to interview him just before their versus battle with Cypress Hill. So
Yeah,
that was a nice touch, man. What did you think of that interview?
yeah, wicked. I mean, he's a legend. Full stop. Like, um, it was interesting to find out that he is also an amazing producer.
Yeah,
And he produced a lot of their sort of most popular beats. Um, but yeah, they were there right in the thick of it. I mean, and they're one of those groups that just get people, you know, crazily hyped.
Yeah,
Um,
and they're a group that should really get more flowers than they get in the scene. You know, I think in researching for that interview, man, I went back, listened to some of the old their discography, man, and
mm,
like some of their early albums were just fantastic, man.
mm.
I hadn't even really gone through them. I'd only paid attention to the singles at the time, but the actual albums are just dope as hell, man. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and hearing their connection to Jam Master Jay and the early days of hip hop
right.
Queens, is also like such an amazing story.
Yeah, in Queens, right? Yeah, because yeah, it's interesting just finding out where all these guys are from and where they're based. Like,
Yeah,
because you know, you might not know that when you hear them singing on the record. I mean, you know, the words might go past you as well.
yeah,
So yeah, just I mean, he was saying like all the best MCs are from Queens. Yeah, I don't know if that's really true, but anyway, you know, a lot of dope ones for sure.
yeah.
I mean, Nas's and stuff.
Yeah, absolute legend, man. And then we followed that up episode 3 with the legendary Shorty Blitz. That was definitely a personal highlight for me, man, because Shorty Blitz was
Yeah,
definitely a pioneer in the hip hop DJ scene for the DJs. Still,
yeah, of course
yeah,
it is. Yeah,
and someone I'd been chasing down for an interview for years, and to finally get him
yeah,
to agree to do one, you know,
yeah.
was
He seems like such a sort of friendly guy. You
yeah,
know, I mean, you chat to him like a mate,
yeah,
and yeah, he had you could tell he just had so many stories.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and you can tell that he's a real kind of old school cat as well. Like when you were asking him about Serato, and you know he was still kind of gunning for the vinyl and telling about how someone's computer crashed one time, and you know they had to kind of beg him to to get them out of a hole by DJing with actual records.
yeah. And
Well, yeah,
so dying art, man, and also to hear how big an influence Ty was in his career in the early stages as well, man.
yeah, just banging on the tables and in a place where Ty didn't even go to that school or whatever.
Yeah,
And he was like, yeah, Ty spent more time in that college than as other where he was, you know, enrolled.
that was really fascinating, man. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think that was actually our longest interview, but it was because we just had so much to say, so it was definitely great, to finally get to chat to him, man.
mm,
Episode number 4 was with the high focus producer Pitch 92. But what
yeah,
that one, man?
yeah. I mean, I love that Intervals album. You know, he's got amazing features on that, and he's obviously he's rolling with the heavy hitters right now
Hmm.
in the UK, and you can you can tell that he's just really on it. He seems really organized, and he's kind of he seems like one of the producers who just wants to get stuff out, wants to get it done, and that's useful.
Yeah,
You know, that kind of impetus helps people along, and that not wanting projects to go stagnant just because they're kind of left to sit too long.
yeah.
But he seemed to have his fingers in like 6 different projects at the same time and
Mm.
things. So he's just mad busy right now.
And
Everyone wants to get
versatile,
Swank.
man. Also doing the R&B stuff with Ayama as well. He was, yeah,
Exactly.
you know,
And he loves that because he needs that as well because he doesn't want to be pigeonholed as like, oh, a kind of golden age NPC sound guy. He
mm,
wants more sort of strings to his bow, you know,
yeah, yeah.
widen the circle,
Yeah,
you
of
know.
course, man. And then episode number 5, mid-season, man, I got in there with Jazz Kahina. It's definitely good to
Yeah,
go up with her.
yeah. It was dope to meet her in London.
Oh yeah. And do the We Out Here festival
Cambridge.
with her as well, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, she's a dope performer, and like a really sound girl. So,
Yeah.
um, what can I say? She's good fun.
Yeah, such a creative
Um,
mind, outside of just being an MC, an innovator with the obviously being a full-time mum and an MC, and
yeah,
a
she's an
writer.
inspiration to
uh,
people.
and very creative with her visuals, man, as well for for her videos. Such an awesome I'd say hip hop head, man. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, and I know. I mean, I remember we were talking on the train about. She was saying, "Oh my goodness, Skinny Man just rung me, saying like, are you coming for the video shoot or whatever?" And she was saying, "Yeah, oh, it's next weekend." And he was like, she was worried like, "Oh, I wonder if he's actually going to come on the right day now." So she's got people like Skinny Man coming up to be in her video shoots. That's a good look.
Yeah.
So she got support in the right places as well.
Yeah. And then following that, episode number 6, we had Germicide and the Expert, man. And for me, this is an interesting interview because these were guys that we just literally, I think I just discovered them randomly on a because I like the artwork on the album on a hip hop website. Listen
Mm,
to the album, and the album was just like, this is banging. And then the more research
yeah,
I did, to find out that obviously the MC was based in America and the producer was based in Dublin, Ireland. I was just like, what? You know?
yeah,
And then obviously interviewing Germicide.
crazy.
And then
Yeah,
during that interview, he was like, man, why don't you just holler at the expert? So I was like, okay, so I hollered at the expert and then interviewed him as well. And it was a bit of a head-to-head experiment because I literally edited the 2 interviews into one and just chops between the 2 throughout.
mm,
But yeah, man, it was definitely a really cool discovery along the way of doing season 3, man. What did you take from the interview?
yeah. Well, the expert is a discovery, man. He's just so on it. I mean, he reminded me a little bit of Configure, who
Mm.
you interviewed in season 2, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With
Um,
Peach from Arrested Development.
yeah. In the same way that it must be difficult for a producer from Newcastle, same thing. It must be a similar thing for a producer from Dublin. That you're kind of the odds are slightly stacked against you. That forces these guys to just be extra dope, and they are. And I don't know how the expert just got hold of an MF Doom posthumous verse the other day, but that tune he did with Sonny Jim.
Oh, did the
That
expert produce that or
right.
did he remix it?
I don't know. Damn, I wish we'd had that tune out when we were interviewing him, but
I didn't realize the expert produced that track. Wow.
yeah.
God, I've got to go do. Oh, wow. I'm shocked by that. Because
Well,
I've known Sonny Jim as a producer, so he tends to produce his own stuff. But yeah, that's pretty dope.
that,
That's a bit of a discovery, man. But yeah, man, what a dope project. And then for episode 7 was another bit of a discovery because I don't know how King Shamps came across the Connoisseurs of Hip Hop, but he was
yeah,
hitting us up with emails, like playing us his records, asking to
right,
be interviewed. So I thought, let me take a chance and
yeah,
got in touch with him and said, okay, let's do an interview. And yeah, man, I thought he was a really cool guy. Very on it, very passionate. Like it's just
yeah, and he's from Philly, right? So
yeah, from Philadelphia, man. And it's good to just get his take, an insider take on the Philadelphia hip hop scene as well. So many
yeah, it's not just the Fresh Prince, right?
yeah, the Roots, Meek Mill, so many Beanie Siegel, so many legendary MCs come from Philadelphia, and obviously
Mm,
get a first person take on things is pretty.
yeah,
And I think well, we've interviewed DJ Jazzy Jeff, but not many representatives from Philly we've come across along the way. So it's pretty good to
No, yeah.
connect with King.
Detroit perhaps, but yeah, Philly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah,
yeah, and I checked out his stuff, and yeah, he's got got some dope tracks.
yeah. So number 8, man, we I finally got a chance to connect with Nutty P. Now, Nutty P is someone who, as freshers, we've shared a very long history with. Like, he literally produced like some of our first tracks, like the first freshers recording sessions were with Nutty P.
The freshers vinyl, no?
Yeah, no, before that, like the very first freshers recording sessions were with Nutty.
Right.
So, but for all these years, like 7-8 years, we never had a chance to interview him. So to finally make that happen, man.
How about a full-length project with him? I mean, like a full-length EP or something.
Yeah, some point, man. Some point, like we've got tracks from him. So even to this date, so let's that probably needs to be something that needs to happen, man. But it was definitely
you guys believe in him, obviously, and
he's a legend, man. He's done so many things. He produced the last project Ty was on with Black Twang and Rodney P.
That's true.
Was completely produced.
The Kingdom thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was produced by Nutty P.
That's big. Yeah. Really big, man.
So Nutty P's got some incredible
and they came to his house, didn't they? Yeah, he talked about that in the interview. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I got Rodney P, Black Twang, and Ty in my yard. Like, got to pinch himself.
Yeah. So that's massive, man. And again, that was a big interview, man. And then episode 9 was Soul Messiah, who that was a revelation of an interview because shout out to Andy Kettle, who's a PR, quite a big PR guy who sends some artists our way every now and again. And he basically, I'm quite a big Sarok fan who we interviewed in the previous season, and he's like exclusively her producer. But what was bigger than that was that he got his break producing with Dallas Austin, who produced a lot of the classic TLC records back in the day.
Yeah, TLC. He named a lot of dope names, man.
Yeah, man.
Michael Jackson was in there, and Janet Jackson.
Yeah, I think Janet Jackson. And the fact that he said he is very influential.
Man or something.
Yeah, very influential in the emergence of the of the trap sound.
Yeah, right.
Being a producer on those very early Young Jeezy and T.I. albums. So that was massive, man. His name should be ringing more bells in the history of hip hop music.
Yeah, I really didn't know who he was. But yeah, he's obviously, he's gone in there right at the top end.
Yeah.
And had a lot of success, kind of like D-Lo success.
Yeah.
He certainly wasn't on my radar. Now this new album looks dope, man. I've seen, so it's kind of like a Sar Rock album. It's got Sar Rock on like 7 tracks.
Yeah.
And then loads of other dope people as well.
Yeah, man. I think it's officially out now, the album, but at the time of the interview, it was just a couple of singles that was out. But yeah, I think I managed to get a preview of the album, and brilliant, man. Yeah. Brilliant. And I think what got it for me, man, was TLC's track Creep. And when he told me that he did the drums for that track, I've gone back and listened to it now, and he's telling me about how he broke down the Slick Rick sample, and I was just like, wow. I was just so you can hear how hip hop it is based on what his contribution to that track.
Yeah, because they had to be kind of careful about that sort of stuff. I mean, like, how much hip hop can we put into it and still have it be a commercial success?
Because there was something about those 90s R&B tracks, man. They were very like quite boom bappy when you listen to the instrumentals.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. And then we finished the season with another quite experimental album because I've always said with season four that I wanted to do all the interviews in person. So we
Mm,
concluded with an in-person interview with
yeah.
American hip hop artist, an experimental American hip hop artist by the name of Pink Sifu, who
Yeah, experimental is the word, man. That's some
yeah,
out there-ish.
yeah.
But
I think he was trying to be like
really dope as well.
yeah, he's trying to be like hip hop's version of Prince or something like that. But I mean,
Yeah,
he's very like forward thinking, and
he
that's
must be
like,
outside the box. Yeah,
yeah, like his style, everything, man. His live show, you can tell that I like to hear artists like that. That even if not all the music is dope, at least they're trying to create something new, you know.
yeah, trying to push boundaries, and you know, you need people like that to get to the next genre, the next thing.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah,
yeah.
now he's still, you know, it's still, and a lot of it was with live instruments, right?
Yeah, he's got his own band, and it's interesting because he was saying at the time that he hadn't actually toured America yet, but he toured Europe before,
Yeah,
which is unusual from a
yeah, that's
hip hop artist, So we got a lot of exclusives, especially when it comes to the live shows. So that was quite interesting as well, man.
yeah, yeah,
You know. But yeah,
yeah.
I think overall it was quite a dynamic season of the head to head. I think it's continuing
Yeah.
to grow. I think I think this season I definitely intentionally made the interviews shorter, and just
Okay.
trying to pack as much as we could like within like the half an hour boundary because
Apart from the Shorty Blitz one, I can see.
yeah, there was just no way of trying to make that so like
But
obviously
that's the thing. When you get on with someone like that,
yeah.
it's like you can chat all day.
Yeah. Because
Seriously.
obviously, as you find in the previous season, man, we was
Mm.
going like hour and a half. Like I swear, one of the interviews were nearly two
The
hours,
Lewis Barker one was
mm,
about, yeah, like
two
2 hours.
hours long, and
Oh, and Kishkash as well. Kishkash, I think, was the longest. That was like
yeah,
nearly three.
that was almost 2 hours. Yeah. I'm just looking at him now. So there's definitely, I think, again for season four, trying to master the art of just keeping them under like half an hour, just to see if we can just maximize
Yeah,
what we can do.
just a few pertinent questions there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
overall, amazing season. Definitely want to thank everybody that what I mean, got a chance to check out one of the interviews and have followed the journey of the head-to-head series as we've progressed,
mm,
from season one to season three. We hope to be back with season four in the new year,
yeah,
and with some more like, out there interviews and with hip hop legends and discoveries and
yeah. And I think the technology has helped you. I mean, just like as with Germicide and people like that, it's kind of enabled collabs and meetings to happen that would not otherwise have been possible.
yeah,
You know, and this kind of came about as a side effect of COVID, right? All
yeah.
this.
Yeah, because to be honest
Um,
with you, like the season one was like we'd just done the book, and I was just thinking, okay, we've got a book out called The Interviews. What's the best way to promote the book? And I was like, okay, let's do more interviews. So so that's how I came up with Head to Head season one, and then
yeah.
off the back of that was like, okay, well, let's try another season, and then let's try another season, and then things have been growing, with each season I like to try and up the level a bit production wise, so let's
Mm.
for season four the challenge is to get them all in person, and let's see how we go.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So that's the plan, man.
You're gonna get Darcy back on camera duties.
I, well, somebody's gonna have to be on camera duties, and we'll find a spot that we can, call a base, and just maybe even iLive, and just knock them out there, man. So
Ah, that might be the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the answer. So yeah, so that's it for the hip hop heads, man. We'd like to thank you for your continued support of the Connoisseurs of Hip Hop YouTube channel as we continue to grow and give you guys more content to enjoy. You know, make sure you like and subscribe and all of that YouTube.
Keep rocking that hip hop.
Hit the bell for notifications and all of that stuff.
Check out connoisseursofhiphop.com.
.com.
Yeah, connoisseursohh.com.
That's right. And obviously the latest podcasts when they come out on Mixcloud. If you haven't already, get the book, The Interviews, which is out now. Volume 2 is on its way, 2023. And yeah, make sure you get the merchandise as well, the tees and the hoodies from Amazon exclusively.
Yeah, and on the Mixcloud, you know, we're still doing the podcasts.
Yeah. And the podcasts,
basically monthly. So
yep. Make sure you get them, man. And yeah,
we give you the lowdown.
yeah, of course.
What to look out for. Yeah.
Of course, man. So yeah, so that's from me, your boy SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original, alongside the one and only DJ
Tom Foolery Beats.
We are the Connoisseurs of Hip Hop, and until next time, peace.
Peace.